So what makes a good speech? Now, some people might say it's what you say, which, to be fair, it is. But also, it might be how you say it, how you stand here. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, public speaking and giving a speech is the whole performance. It's the standing here, it's the talking, it's the PowerPoint, it's everything. Now, I don't want this to turn into a list of do's and don'ts, which I'm sure this could quite easily get. So we're going to try and make this a bit light and fun. And I've even got notes just in case. So, now, have you all heard the statistic that 90% of communication is non-verbal? Give or take 10%, 80%, 70%, something like that. You all have heard something like that, haven't you? Yeah, it's bullshit. And I'm pitching this off now, if this was true, then why on earth do we have the language barrier? Because it isn't true. So, although body language plays an important part, it doesn't play as an important part as people actually think. But that isn't to belittle body language, and to get that across, we're going to start with body language. Now, I'm going to try and scare you now. Everything means something. Okay? Thank you. Now, everything that you do has to have a purpose. It has to have a meaning. Because, quite frankly, 8 minutes is not enough time to convince somebody of something, and you'd be wasting your time wandering up and down, walking back and forth. 2 minutes in the evaluation, which Alex did last week, is not enough time to actually get your point across if you're faffing around. So what you need to do is you need to make every gesture, make every word mean something. And I've probably already failed at that, but oh well. Now, body language. Body language consists of 3 reasons why you do body language, in my opinion. The first one is to give yourself an air of confidence and to connect with the audience. You guys. Now, if I'm standing here with my hands in my pockets, just like hiding behind here, not looking at anybody, are you going to think that I know what I'm about? No. It's part of the fact that I'm hiding behind here that I actually want to hide. I should give a speech like that, actually. So you aren't going to listen to me, you aren't going to pay attention, and that is going to damage my credibility of trying to convince you of whatever I'm trying to convince you of. Also, if I've got my hands in my pockets and slouching over, I just don't look very authoritative, do I? No. Which leads me on to the next point. Well, apart from the fact that you've got your hands in your pockets and you're slouching, you're going to annoy Nick and yourself very, very much. You also can't breathe. If you're slouching over, you're constricting the lungs, which obviously you need to do. Now, this leads on to the second point, which is you have to try and not annoy the audience. You've got to try and not distract them. If I'm faffing with notes, waving my arms around all the time, trying to fly or something, it's going to distract you, and you're going to sit there thinking, what and utter prat. And you're going to be concentrating on what I'm doing rather than what I'm saying. So you want to try and minimise the distraction as much as you can. Now, the third thing is kind of the opposite to that. And this is to reinforce what you're saying. Now, I could have done, if it had any sense, when I said 3 things, I could have done there's 3 things that make body language important. 1, 2. Reinforce what you say. Make big gestures. Now notice that when I said big gesture, I made a big gesture, and also I took a step forward. So just have a think about that. Now, moving swiftly on to what you say. Well, not what you say, but how you say it. Now, this is arguably the most important bit, because you could have the best speech in the world, but if you're mumbling, nobody knows what you're saying. So to start with, make sure that everybody can hear you. Ask if you've never done it before. Calvin, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, good. Now, I've done a lot of speeches, so I know that this is the right tone. But if it's a bigger place, just test it. Now, that's one of the do's that I'm trying not to stress. But how you say it also affects the people. if I am talking about something personal, I want to make personal gestures. I want to slow down, go slightly deeper, pause a lot more. But if I'm talking about something exciting, I want to jump around and start shouting at you because it's exciting. And I want to show that excitement. So you have to tailor how you say it to what you say. Now, one key thing is don't be monotone. Really, really don't be monotone. Because I had a lecturer once, he was the penis guy, the barnacles. Was he Dutch or something? He was Dutch or something. But he literally just talked in the most mundane and boring voice possible. Everything sounded exactly the same. And we fell asleep. Even though he was talking about giant broken penises, we fell asleep. Now, in my eyes, perhaps the most important thing about how you say things is actually, ironically, the silence. The silence. Control the pauses. As Alex mentioned last week, control the pauses. Because the pauses, they do a strange thing with your brain. If you're having a conversation, notice with the other person, as soon as you stop talking, they immediately start. It's a funny thing in the brain, and I do encourage you to have a read a bit about it, because it is very interesting. But the pauses are what make it dramatic. The pauses make the audience hang on to every word of what you say. Now, obviously, I've just been ranting on for a bit, so I tried not to do all the do's and don'ts, but now it's your turn. So, I want you to tell me some do's and don'ts of public speaking. Who wants to start? Nobody? I really should have thought you. Waffling. Don't waffle.
Do you make eye contact with the audience?
Do you make eye contact? Body language, yeah? Any more?
You spread around your eye contact.
Yeah? Don't focus on one people, because it's rather awkward, doesn't it, Sebastian? Anything else?
I apologise at the start of the speech.
Yeah? Don't turn your back on the audience. Anything else?
Don't make an excuse that you've got a poor voice or you've got a poor presentation or something.
Yeah?
At least that did.
Don't be standing, yeah? Unless, obviously, you're not allowed to move around.
But don't move around too much.
Yeah?
Don't use lots of M's and
Yeah, that's a good thing, but that can be quite difficult sometimes. But it's worth practicing, not to. Anybody else? Sorry? And strongly, yeah. Audience participation is always good. I try my best. Sorry? Yeah, pauses.
Try and be funny.
Try and be funny. Obviously, only if the speech allows it. If you're talking about a dead mother, it's not good. It's not really going to be a funny topic.
research the topic properly.
Yeah, I come to. Sorry, that just came out. Yeah, make sure you practice the speech.
Don't fidget with your hands.
Yeah, don't fidget.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. Seek balance.
Sorry?
Seek balance. Don't overdo stuff, don't underdo stuff.
Yeah. Like jumping on tables. I've done that before.
By editing slides, that you got next.
That's a good point, but I really didn't notice today.
Probably good structure.
Structure.
Don't have too much information and don't put too little information.
Yeah. Another one, don't death by PowerPoint, which you'll find out how not to do next week.
Know your audience, I guess.
Know your audience, yeah. Yeah, anything else?
Keep time.
Keep time. Yes, actually that's a very important point. Don't keep looking at the clock. You know how long the speech is, but you should know how long the speech is because you should have practiced it. You know how long it is, you know you've got 8 minutes, so prepare for that. Don't keep looking at your watch. That does get annoying.
Keep the target audience in mind.
Keep talking to the mind. Yeah. So, There's quite a few, and I could have literally stood here around, do this, don't do that, do the other. But you're all sensible, and with the feedback that we get at the end of each speech, you should be able to come up with your own idea. But speaking is very, very personal.